So I hope now polygroup will might be clear to all of you. So, not polygroup, QMesh might be clear to all of you. What QMesh does, it's an intelligent way of extruding your objects. Okay, now let's see other properties. Press spacebar and we have got front facing island. Okay, QMesh but front facing island, or you have polygroup border or poly loop. Let's try all these and see what happens. So all these things which are a part of this loop that has been extruded. Okay, so very like you have to play around with the properties like this, and very easily you can create these stuffs with the help of poly loop. So whatever that is there into the loop, that will get extruded. Similar to that, we have poly loop and flat, means it will only be whatever that is flat and into the loop, that will be extruded. Like it will not cover throughout, but it will take this much only. Poly loop but flat, poly loop but flat, poly loop but flat. Okay, so many ways are there. Okay, I'll just do a control Z now. I think I have disturbed this poly loop much. Okay, so again we are back to where we started. Now spacebar, we have got poly loop and poly group. This is also you can try. So many ways are there from here. You can try all these things. These are a way of selecting the target, means where to apply this QMesh, that you can define from all these targets. Okay, although in Zmodeller we have got many tools, but most of the time you will not be using this much of tools. You will be happy with QMesh and sometimes like poly island, single poly, okay, and this loop. These features you will apply most. Now we have got align in 10th step. What does that mean? Let's see. I'll again go back to spacebar, and over here we have got QMesh, and this time I'll take a single poly only and align 10th to step. Let's first extrude this one. Okay, now we have got, when you start extruding the second face, so what happens, it tries to snap, you can see, and it forms a stair plane like this. So after this what happens is it counts for 10 steps, 1 2 3 4 like this, and on 10th step it will become 90, fully aligned. So it gives you 10 levels of precision to apply the slanted bevel. Okay, so suppose you want to reduce or increase the number of steps, for that this is there. So suppose you want to align in quarter 4 times only, so click onto this one. Now if you will click, so it will snap, and then 4 times, 1 2 3 and 4th was done. So in 4 times only you got something like this. Okay, like this. Again I'll show, and you can, like, depending upon your requirement, you can leave in between also like this. Okay, and similar to that it will take like this, and you can create a nice slope depending upon your requirement. Okay, so that is what that third category is there. So first category is, these are the tools that you can apply just only onto the faces I am talking about. and these are the target for the faces, and these are the number of steps you want to take to fulfill your tool. Okay, rest you slowly and steadily you can get to know about rest of the stuffs also. So next we will see our next tool, that is crease tool. Okay, I'll just go back. Any confusion in polycube? If anybody wants to ask, it means only two are there today, Jagan and Savan. So there is no offline students also today, so if you have any query you can ask in between only, don't hesitate to ask. The next tool that we will see is crease tool. So what you can do basically, or bevel, let's see first bevel. So spacebar and you can choose to bevel. Now what do you want to bevel, a single polygon or a full island you want to bevel? So it's up to you. Suppose you want a single polygon, so select like this and now you can bevel like this. Okay, so anytime you are beveling, it will create a different polygroup like this. And now suppose you want to extrude, space, Q mesh, and you can simply spacebar, Q mesh, not a single poly but polygroup, whatever that the green polygroups are there. Okay, all these things are separate only. I thought it has created as one. Yeah, these are separate polygroups. So what we can do, if you one you can extrude like this, and now if you want to apply same extrusion to rest of the part, simply click onto the others also and it will automatically like get extruded like this. Okay, so very easily you can create something like this. Okay, if you want you can click at the center. First change to polygroup island to single poly and like this. Okay, so you have created a geometry like this. Again you can click and you can have an extrusion. So I am just clicking and extruding, nothing else. Okay, so that is what bevel is. Spacebar and you have got bevel, and you can apply on a single plane, like I showed you ways in which you can apply on the island also, or polygroup island. Like suppose let's apply onto island this time. Okay, so it is very sensitive. So all the island it took to extrude. If you want full island it took. Okay, space bar. Polygroup, if you want border or polygroup, poly loop. Let's see if you want to extrude a poly loop what happens. So this one I want to take. So it doesn't have any loops. Space bar, poly loop, bevel. So we don't have a loop, that is why it is not taking. So let's change it to poly loop flat, means, or polygroup and flat. We have polygroup border we have got. Polygroup border, hey, what happened? Yeah, polygroup border we want to bevel. So let's see these two and how nicely it has beveled. Okay, anyone you can bevel like this and it will create a different polygroup like this. Okay, or you can flat border. Okay, you can take flat island. So same like the one you have got in QMesh, same you can apply with bevel also. And all these options are coming with the help of spacebar. I don't know if I have told previously or not. Now next option is bridge. So how to apply bridge? If you click onto bridge, you have got two things. One is connected polys, one is two polys. Okay, so let's see first connected polys. Okay, so like this you can bridge between the connected polygons only, and it has subdivided that only. Okay, like this. Okay, spacebar, bevel, connected bridge. And suppose you want bezier curve or spline or a circle or something like that, you can take from the third section also. Right now we don't have a bezier curve. Small round corners. Let's try this and see what happens. So you see how it has bridged. Okay. So depending upon like which side you are moving, depending upon that also this bridge works. Suppose you want, or let's press spacebar, and instead of this time let's first use QMesh, a single poly, and let's make a poly like place where we can bridge. Okay, so I'll extrude like this 3 times. Okay, and then same thing I will do over here also 3 times. Okay, now I want to bridge this too. Okay, suppose. So what I am gonna do, I will enable my bridge function. So spacebar, and we'll go to bridge, and this time it's not connected same polygons, but we want 2 polygons to be connected. So now we have to just specify which polygon. So first one will be this, and second one will be this, and it has connected. Same we can see this and this, so connected. So like this you can connect n numbers of bridges over here. Again let's try and see. So suppose you want to bridge, first let's carve out some of the stuff. So we'll go to face, press space bar, then we will change our tool to QMesh so that we can extrude, and we'll extrude some of the parts like this. I want to extrude, and again and again, and then I want this part to extrude it 2 and 3. And suppose you want to extrude the bridge between the center, so what you need to do, simply select the space bar, and oh god, where is the bridge 2 polygons, and simply click and then click. So our bridge has been successfully done. Okay, and all these things are always single only, these are not separate elements, so you don't have to worry about the welding that you do into 3D softwares or many steps you do. So first you extrude, then you delete the faces, then you you bridge between them, that also you do. Okay, so these are some of the tools that are there into Polymesh 3D. Okay, now before going further, let's do one thing. Let's revise the previous sculpting tools that we did and try to modify one of the faces that we have done. Zmodeller will continue again into the next class. So what I will want to do is, I have got this lady over here. This I am discontinuing, and then we can continue into the next recording.